Today happens to be the second day in the new Hijri calendar, the Islamic calendar 1436. And it is typical to have many questions, whether that I received on my page or as a comment on a post that I made or in the emails, or I expect also in the live calls that a lot of callers will be concerned about, number one, the permissibility of celebrating the new Islamic year. Number two, exchanging the congrats, congratulating one another for or on the new Hijri year. And is there any difference between celebrating and congratulating? Yes. So let's speak first of all with regards to the origin of this calendar. As I explained before, that it started during the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, who initiated upon consulting the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at this time, who initiated the new Islamic calendar based on the great event of the migration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which was on the 13th year after Hijrah. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived to Al-Madinah on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, and it was Monday at the forenoon. So basically the month of Muharram was not the month on which the immigration started or even ended. When the Prophet ﷺ entered Al-Madinah, he entered on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, according to the Seerah of Ibn Hisham, the great historian. And some others said it was like a couple nights since the beginning of Rabi' al-Awwal. So it was on the month of Rabi' al-Awwal, not Muharram. And when he consulted the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, after they agreed to the event as it should be the beginning of the Islamic calendar, they agreed to appoint the month of Muharram, which is one of the sacred months. In ayah number 34 of Surah At-Tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم فلا تظلموا فيهن أنفسكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, since He created the heavens and the earth, the number of months are 12. 4 of the 12 are sacred. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in the Sound Ahadith, there are 3 consecutive months, which is Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Al Muharram. Then Rajab Mudar by itself. So these are 4 months which are known as Al Ashhur Al Hurum. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ, that is the upright religion, فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not wrong yourselves during either the entire 12 months or فِيهِنَّ refers to the 4 sacred months. Because al-ulama, the scholars, agreed that committing a sin during any of the 4 sacred months is a greater crime and a greater sin than committing the same sin during any other time. So these are Al-Ashhur Al-Hurum. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named this month Al-Muharram, and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Shahrullahi Al-Muharram, to reiterate its sacredness. And as Sahaba agreed, let's make the conclusion of the Hajj, which is the month of Dhul Hijjah, the end of the year, and the beginning of the Islamic calendar will be the month of Muharram, which follows the Hajj season. This is how it all began. So it is not something that started at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or even at the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. This is with regards to the history of the date and how the Islamic calendar started. Then the question with regards to celebration or the congratulation, exchanging the congrats for the beginning of the new Islamic year, is to be referred and evaluated against the Islamic juristic rule, which says permissibility is the original status of customary practices. This is what His Eminence, may Allah have mercy on him, Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir al-Sa'di, stated in this regard. I'm going to quote what he said exactly, but I will translate it, where he said, there is no need to legally forbid or recommend against specific action or saying, unless there is a religious text that forbids or recommends against the respective action or saying, and unless the respective action or saying is associated with a bad consequence. He said also the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ have established this general rule in many contexts. And he also said and quoted Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and other scholars endorsed this view. Then furthermore he said, may Allah have mercy on him. The question with regards to exchanging the greeting for the beginning of the new Hijrah year is to be evaluated against the just mentioned rule, which is al-aslu fil ashya'i al-ibaha. Permissibility is the original rule concerning customary things and practices, whether actions or sayings. To clarify, he said the practice of exchanging greetings for Islamic New Year, for example, is not intended for worshipping. Rather, it is a customary common practice that does not involve forbidden matters. Yet, such a customary practice may involve good things. One good thing that Muslims exchange nice wishes and mutual prayers on this occasion. When somebody says to another, blessed year, this is an invocation. May Allah make this year a year full of blessings. May Allah forgive the sins of the past year and make the next year full of happiness or blessings. So he said that undergoes the customs, the customary practices. It is not intended to be an act of worship, but it is mere wish or invocation or dua. So if you are offered a greeting on the coming of the Islamic New Year, we believe that you must return the greeting. This is the right thing to do in our view. He said, may Allah have mercy on him. Additionally, failing to return such greeting may create misunderstanding and may be hatred on the part of the one who greeted you. Also, may Allah have mercy on him. He said there is also another rule that you need to take note of. This rule says customary practices may involve good deeds which qualify them for religious recommendations. That is to make such practice among the deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves most. It all depends on what benefits such practices may bring about. Similarly, some customary practices may involve bad things which qualify them for religious prohibitions. That is to make such practices among the deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden. There are many examples in this regard. It is very interesting that Shaykh Ibn Sa'di, may Allah have mercy on him, wrote a letter to his student who is a great scholar, Ibn Aqil. And he wrote to him, which he tagged his letter with the following line. He said, congratulations on the coming of the Islamic year. May Allah bring it over and over with much goodness, and may Allah always protect us from all that is bad, or all that which is bad. Now let's move to the answer of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy on him, who is also one of the students of Sheikh al-Sa'di, whom we just quoted his view earlier. May Allah have mercy on all of them. And Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen is the one who succeeded Sheikh al-Sa'di in his masjid in teaching and giving the khutbah and attending the halqa after his death. May Allah have mercy on both of them. When he was asked on the ruling on congratulating people on the occasion of the Hijri New Year, he said, if someone offers you the congratulations on the beginning of the Islamic year, then respond to them. But he said, and this is where he differed from his sheikh, he said, but do not initiate such greeting. So he said, I would not initiate it. But if somebody greeted me and said, Happy New Year, Happy New Hijri Year, I would say, same to you, Happy and blessing new Hijri year to you as well. This is what Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen said, may Allah have mercy on him. Shaykh Abdul Karim al-Khudayr, may Allah have mercy on him, said concerning offering congratulations on the occasion of the Hijri New Year, praying for another Muslim in general terms is phrases that are not meant as a kind of ritual on special occasions, such as Eid for instance, is acceptable. So he says, when somebody says Eid Mubarak, when somebody says Friday Mubarak, when somebody says happy or a blessed year, that is perfectly fine as a form of invocation. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. So now, we have the view of Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir al-Sa'di, may Allah have mercy on him, who said it is not considered as a form of worship. It is rather a customary thing. And looking at the practice as whether it's one of the things or one of the acts of worship will determine whether it is an innovation or not. When we have difference of opinion between great scholars, and when one adopts a view, we should respect that. Especially, it is a view that is adopted by such a great scholar, and it is also not just a great scholar, he was the sheikh of the shuyukh, for instance. So you should not say that this is haram and that should not be considered, or you nullify or dismiss the other views. Especially when you know that Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy on him, said in this regard that if somebody took the initiative and wished you a happy Islamic or Hijri calendar, Hijri year, that you should say the same to him, and you should not turn him down, and you should not ignore his statement. Barakallahu feekum. Now, and since today is the second day of the blessed month of Muharram, and it is also the second day in the new Hijri calendar, 1436. We say that there is no celebration because we all agree in this regard that the celebrations are relating to the Eids, which the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam prescribed and allowed that we celebrate these days, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So there is no specific celebration. What we discussed earlier was concerning exchanging the greetings and the congratulations. And also to bring to the attention of the youth, whom many of whom do not know what is the Hijri year, and what is the event of the migration, and why was it chosen by the companions to mark the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In a recent program, and it's very available on many websites, on YouTube and otherwise, you can see the host is interviewing college students in some very prestigious universities, Arab, and they're asking the students, the college students, can you name 4 of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And they failed. Many examples. And when one managed to say 2 names, they said Abu Bakr and Umar al-Khattab. And somebody said, I like this guy. Whose guy? Umar al-Khattab. They don't even know how to say the name properly. And who's Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu? If a college student born and raised in a Muslim country, and he's a Muslim, and doesn't know the names of 20, 30 or 40 of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in their mind the event of the migration, the pigeons, the laying eggs at the front, the entrance of the cave and the spider web, and طلع البدر علينا, and all of that is not true. Neither the pigeons laid eggs, nor the spider set their web, or the companions received, Al-Ansar received the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina by singing and chanting طلع البدر علينا. This is all not true. As a matter of fact, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned how miraculously He supported His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the journey, He said, وَأَيَّدَهُ بِجُنُودٍ لَمْ تَرَوْهَا, and He supported him with hosts that you did not see. You could not visualize. There are many blessings in this month. Number one, it is called Shahrullahil Muharram. And to ascribe anything to Allah that gains automatically sacredness and sanctuary. When you say Baytullah, Shahrullah, Baladullah, okay? So it gains a special sacredness. And it is a sacred month. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ذو القعدة وذو الحجة والمحرم ورجب مضر الذي بين جمادى وشعبان. These are الأربعة الحرم, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to them in Surah At-Tawbah in ayah number 36. I believe I mentioned before 34, rather it is ayah number 36. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose this time to make it a special time. Not only that, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the sound hadith, which is collected by Imam Muslim and narrated by Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, he quoted Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as saying, أفضل الصيام بعد رمضان شهر الله المحرم. The best fasting after observing the month of Ramadan's fasting, because it is the fard, so nothing is better than fulfilling the fard as far as the acts of worship. He said the next best is to fast the voluntary fasting during Shahrullah al-Muharram, the blessed month of al-Muharram. And you gotta keep in mind that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam never fasted for a whole month except on the month of Ramadan, which means fast as much as you can on the month of Muharram, but you do not fast the whole month, neither on Muharram or in any other month. So now, inshallah azza jal, we should take advantage of this time and try to fast voluntary fasting as much as you can. We all know that, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in the sound hadith that fasting for a single day fi sabilillah takes the person away from the fire of hell the distance of 70 kharif, yani 70 years.